Have you ever wanted to categorize your data inside SQL without using Excel? That's exactly what case when does. In today's video, I'll show you how to use case when in PostgreSQL to turn raw data into meaningful insights step by step. So your case when is just like your if function in Excel. If you can remember your if function, if it's black, if it's not black, it is white. If it's not white, it is black, right? It's a condition, right? So your case when serves the same purpose as your if statement. It allows you to create conditions and return different results based on those conditions. Actually, you should think of it like if something is true, return this, else return something else, right? Yeah. So we are going to work we are going to query our DVD rental database using case when. For basically what your case means is start the logic. What your when means is what is the condition, and then the results is aligned to the then, and then the else is optional but recommended, and closes your statement. But you're going to understand this when we start working proper. So let's we have I'm going to open my schemas. Let's see what we have in our tables. So I want to work with payment table, right? I want to see the columns. We have amounts. So I want to categorize our amounts. If our amount is more than 5, I want it to be high. If it is less than 5, I want it to be low. So let's go. Understanding the case when statements in SQL. So we're going to group payments. Let's group payments into categories. Above, if payment or amount is above 5, we want it to be high, right? And if it is exactly 5, we want it to be standard. And if it is below 5, we want it to be low. Below 5, we want it to be what? Low. So this is how to write the query. Your first statement in SQL is your select. So you start with your select. What do you want to select? Remember, your select statement means you want to see columns, right? So what columns do you want to see? Let's say we want to see everything from our payment table, right? Your from wants you to state what table you want to get all of these columns from. So we are using payment, right? Payment table. Or before we even use the payment, what we are going to do is use our case when. Our case when comes immediately after our select. Case when what? When amount. Because we have amount here, right? In our schemas, our payments, you can see amount here. We want to do when amount is greater than 5, then in your one quote, you're going to use high payments. High payments. This is basically how to arrange it, right? Another condition you want to insert, remember your condition here says above 5 you want high, exactly 5 you want standard payment, below 5 you want low payment. So we have 3 conditions, right? So we are going to enter when amount again. Your amount should be spelled exactly the way it is spelled in your column, the column in your database. When amount is equals to, that's exactly 5, then in quotes, anything text should be in quotes, remember that please. Standard payment. So instead of you bringing the last quote, which is below 5, what we're going to use is our else statement. Else means if it is not greater than 5, it is not exactly 5, which is equals to 5, then it should be what? Low payment. So we use else for that. Low payment. All right, so your last condition carries your else. And now you want to rename this particular column. right? Your amount column, because your amount column you're calling up, you're using your case when statement for, right? You are going to end or rename this particular column using this statement called end as. So you want to rename it as payment underscore category, or you can say amount category, whichever way, right? Yes, from your payment table. So basically, your case when comes immediately after your select. It's very important that you know how to arrange your work when you're writing your queries, your select, your from. But when you're using a conditional statement, which is your case when statement that also means your if condition, that should come immediately after your select clause, right? So we are going to run this now. So I'm using select asteroid because I want to see everything in our table. So case when amount, let's see, our syntax error is near case. I'm supposed to put a comma here. Yes, because this case when is also referring to a column, right? So I'm supposed to also add my comma, right? So let's run this. Right. So we can see I'm going to have to drag this up. So we can see our payment category. We can also see our amounts. You can see every column in the table payment because we use what our asterisk. Asterisk means show me everything in the table. Show me all the columns in the table. So you can see your payment category. You can see high payment is greater than 5. Your amount is greater than 5. You can see low payment is below 5, right? You can see greater than 5 high payment. So this is how to basically use your case when. It helps you to group categories or to group amounts into categories. You can also use case when with dates, not just numbers. You can also use case when with so many things. Your case when is used to categorizing data into high, medium, low, is used to creating flags, yes or no. It's also used to creating conditional calculation and also business logic inside SQL queries. If this helped you understand case when, make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe. And if you want to learn SQL in the simplest way possible, follow Data Next with Angie, where complex data concepts are broken down step by step.